Ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 Inspiration Award honoree, Jim Hart.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot right there. I don't know if Anthony or Burnett or my wife. My wife's a powerful force, so maybe she, got some people up there and really persuaded them to make some of those kind statements. But, I wanted to say first of all to, Anthony. He mentioned that I was one of the first calls he made 16 years ago to start this event, and his vision. He doesn't take credit for himself. Albany, New York's not a great big market. It's not one of the biggest media markets in the country. We don't have a BCS program like a Duke here. But what we do have here is an unbelievable community of business leaders, coaching community that come together, as Freddie said, for events like this. And I was talking to his boss, Brant from the American Cancer Society in Atlanta, and I was asking him how many of these events like this are there in the country, and there's about 10 or 12 of them, and they're all in major markets. And in those major markets, so, the Albany area to even have it is one thing. And he was saying when Anthony had the idea, he had to pitch it to them, can we do it here? They were probably laughing at him at first, but if you know Anthony Marino, he's somebody, if he says he's gonna get a job done, the job is already done. And hats off to Anthony. And the team he has with Lizzie, they're an all-star team. Each year this thing gets bigger and better, and it's really amazing that this area continues to punch above its weight class and do great things. John, I'll quickly say, I heard him say he took 41 shots in a game. I was actually, I know for a fact you scored 27 points in 75 seconds. I don't know if that's the same game. It couldn't have been. But that's a lot of shooting. So hopefully he's teaching passing a little bit more over there at Duke. Everyone doesn't shoot that much. And then I don't want to steal any thunder, but, congratulations, the Fighting Spirit Award to Jenna. John mentioned she scored a goal the other night. And what he didn't mention was that she hadn't been cleared to play. And she really pushed the coach hard to let her in. She got in the game and scored a goal. So sometimes you have to make your own opportunity, right? Even when it's not there, yeah. So every year when we're here, we're reminded how much cancer affects every one of us. And this year, it hits home for me particularly hard as well. Since we last came here 2 years ago, my nephew Nicholas, my wife's sister Elsie, my wife's father Miguel, and my best friend from college, Tony McIntosh, they were all diagnosed with cancer. And it's nights like this that we need to get us one step closer to beating this thing. And you read all the stats, there's 25% less deaths from cancer than there were just 20 years ago. So we are making progress, and it's baby steps. And it reminds me of, everything now reminds me. There's a book I carry around with me. People know I've had this book. I've read it 10 times a year for 30 years. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. Real simple little book. But everything says, okay, these baby steps. And when we're out here at these events, sometimes you're saying, well, what can this night here in Albany do to beat cancer? And one paragraph reminded me how little things work. And it's from the chapter, I Will Persist Until I Succeed. It's actually a scroll. And it says, henceforth I will consider each day's effort as but one blow of my blade against the mighty oak. And the first swipe I take against the mighty oak may not even cause a tremor in the wood. And the second swipe and the third. Each swipe in and of itself may seem inconsequential and trifling, but yet with childish swipes, the mighty oak eventually tumbles. And that is with my efforts of the day. So the efforts of this is just one swipe of our blade against the mighty oak. And when you combine all these things together, I think that's what's going to end up beating this disease. So that's what I wanted to say regarding that. The other thing is, what motivates me most, is people, and I try and stay positive, and I like to say I'm an optimist. And when people see me walking around optimistic all the time, carefree, my job at Merrill Lynch, I have a great team there backing me, my City Rocks job, the people, anything I've done with the City Rocks is a result of these gentlemen over here, Burnett, Onion, Tuck, Corey, all these, A-Bar, these people have been with me for 30 years doing all these things. Hats off to them. But they'll say to me, Jim, how do you do it? Where do you find time to do all these things that you're doing? And you seem like you don't have any stress and you're just kind of carefree. And I say, I've kind of got a secret weapon. I've got a little bit of a cheat code. And what if I told you that I've got Coach K, Nick Saban, and Tom Brady walking around with me every day, giving me my game plan of attack for the day, how to win the day. And what if I also told you that anytime there was a tough job I had to do that I didn't want to do, or a call that I didn't really want to make, I had General Patton or Eisenhower on my shoulder telling me exactly the battle plan and what the consequences would be if I didn't succeed. And what if I also told you that I had someone that looks me in the eye every day with adoration, tells me how smart I am, how handsome I am, and that she loves me very much. And what if I told you this was all the same person? It's my wife, Lena. And a lot of you in here know Lena, and if you've got Lena on your side, you're winning. I mean, there's just no other way. So thank you to my wife. So that's great. The other thing is that I want to say is my inspiration, as I said earlier, is people. And, being able to have an impact on young people's lives and watching them become their best selves is a great thing to do. And, tiny words of encouragement to a young person. We saw a lot of these people up on the screen there, and I knew them when they were 14 or 15 years old. Did I have any, are they successful because of me? Of course not. But did I maybe give them some kind word of inspiration? I think I may have. I didn't even know he was going to be here. One of my former players, he pulled me aside and he said, other than my father, the words you gave me, impacted my life so much. And I don't speak to this person very often. Once a year we always check in with each other. And, he told me about the book I gave him and that I inspired him to go to medical school and, graduate and become the best doctor and the best family man and the best father and the husband he could be. And he told me that out here. And some of the things he told me I didn't even remember at first. But, he's here tonight, and he's a doctor, and he's a former City Rock, so I wanted to shout out him. And the other inspiration that you might have is you might have a 10th grade player that comes up to you, and he's looking for a word of inspiration, and he's a JV basketball player, and people told him you might want to find another sport. And then he goes on and he becomes a professional basketball player, and he becomes the head coach of Siena College, Carmen Massarello. So words matter. That fills my tank, hearing that. I can remember a 3rd grade player playing up against 5th graders, kids who outweighed him by 30 pounds. And he was out there getting buckets against those guys, but he was crying as he was doing it, like literally in tears, but just doing his job. And I've encouraged him throughout the years, and he ended up becoming Penn State's all-time leading scorer, Taylor Battle. So words matter, and encouragement matters. And that's filling my tank. So right now I'm actually seeing the snowball effect of 30 years of helping people, coaching, encouraging, inspiring. And it's great to see all these stories. And the fact that all of you are here tonight for a great cause to help fight cancer, and raise awareness and raise money means that you are all the people that I would love to have on my team. And you can play for my team anytime. And with us together, we will be able to fight this thing and we will be able to win. So thank you.